Yeah, no, we went on the road. We did the first ever cruiserweight tour. Took an entire group of guys on tour. And you know, that is once again me proving to myself, you know, because before that, if I'm honest, and everybody in the WWE will tell you this, I mean, I've main evented dozens, if not hundreds, of NXT shows with Big Cass and tag team matches in 6-mans with me and Finn Balor and Big Cass, you know, and things like that. You know what I mean? But I never had a title and main evented a tour that was for that title. You know what I mean? And it was the first of its kind. And when it ended, I mean, it couldn't have ended at a perfect time, because on the 25th anniversary of Raw, I had wrestled my last match the night before at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center in Poughkeepsie, New York. And, you know, we had pretty much a sold-out house, dude. I don't remember the number, but, you know, and that was based off of the cruiserweights. And you know, me being, you know, the champion and in the main event. So I just say to myself, when it was over, I had a main event match for a title, took a brand on the road, and there's nothing left for me to prove to myself. You know I can do it. So, you know, if you can do it once, you can do it again. So I stepped away from the pressures of pro wrestling in the world that I was in, not realizing, you know, like potentially how I was achieving certain things, or why maybe people, you know, were having success around me, why people weren't, or you know, what was working and what wasn't, and how lucky or fortunate I was. Timing took, you know, shape in this situation for me more than anything. You know, like, timing is a blessing and a curse, but for me, it's been the biggest blessing in my life, because I got an opportunity, you know, to stand in a ring in NXT, and John Cena was backstage the night I debuted. He asked me to get in the ring. I spelt out soft with him. He repeated it. The crowd repeated it. But had it not been for John Cena that day being there asking me, had it not been the day that I debut, had it not been the greatest crowd probably in the history of pro wrestling, and I am talking to that ECW Philadelphia crowd when I say it, because the greatest crowd potentially in the history of pro wrestling is the NXT brand crowd. And I will tell you why. Because they sit through 4 hours, 4.5 to 5 hours of television tapings, and sold that arena out every night. And not only did they do things for a guy like me by chanting, "My name is Enzo Amore," along with me, Certified G, the whole nine, button it up with SAWFT soft. That is an Orlando crowd letting the world know who I am. And then I go over to England. And when I'm in England, they know who I am already. And the crowd's saying it with me. And when I show up in the WWE, the world already knows who I am. Why? Because of that NXT crowd, that Orlando crowd, that Florida crowd that would travel, or the vacation people that would come in and want to be a part of it as well. You know, it's a special atmosphere. I don't know what it's like anymore, but I'm assuming because they got a television on, live TV now, that crowd is still lit. It's timing. Really, it's timing. Like, had I not been there with that NXT crowd the night with John Cena, and then had the opportunity to work in front of those people when we were on the Hulu network, and then it changed to the WWE network. Now the world is starting to see NXT. The world's starting to see us because of the WWE network, and then the world is starting to see, you know, us more, you know, because NXT is starting to flourish and travel the world. So, I mean, I was there for that. I was there for the first time with Big Cass when it was always us every time we went to a new country. First song you heard everywhere around the world when NXT went there was Enzo and Cass. And we loved to have that, you know, spot. I mean, it was a fun spot. Just go out there. You know, it is what you make of it, though. And in the end, we made the most of our opportunities. We were blessed with them. Worked with some incredible people. Had it not been for those people, we definitely wouldn't have been able to get where we got. And I am talking about like wrestlers that we got in the ring with, and producers and agents and people who helped us, you know, because, I mean, you know, in essence, all you need is a wrestling ring and two guys to go out there and put on a show. But in the WWE, man, it gets a little bit more complicated.